In today's video, I will show you how to install OPNsense Firewall on Proxmox step by step from downloading the ISO all the way to fully installed Firewall virtual machine. If you want to build a home lab firewall, secure your network, or learn enterprise level networking, this setup is perfect. So let's get started. Step number one. First, we need to download the ISO file of OPNsense. So go to google.com and then search for OPN download. And make sure you click on the correct URL, which is opensense.org, which is the official website. Click on that one and then click on download OPNsense. Scroll down a little, make sure system architecture is selected as AMD 64, and from here we will select the DVD, which is actually going to download the ISO file. And then for the mirror location, you can choose any nearby mirror. For me, this one is fine. So I can click on download OPNsense and I can see the link showing while I'm hovering the mouse, but I'm going to download it directly to my Proxmox. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy the link, and under my Proxmox, I'll go to my local disk, and under ISO images, I will click on download from URL. Then I will paste the URL here and click on query URL. And you can see it was able to find the latest version of OPNsense, which is 26.1. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on download. In case this feature doesn't work, let's say your Proxmox does not have the internet access, then you can use the other method, like download directly from here and then access your Proxmox and then use the upload feature to upload the ISO file. It's going to take you double time. On one side, you're downloading the ISO and then you're going to upload it. But if that's the case, you don't have internet on your Proxmox, then you will need that method to follow. Now we are going to create a virtual machine. So go ahead and click on create VM and then give it a name. For me, I'm going to give it a name OPNsense, so that's recognizable. And then a VM ID, you can choose from anything after 100 and up to 10,000, I guess, or 20,000, not sure. But I'm going to start with 100. So I know that's my first machine. And then under the OS section, select the ISO file. If you have multiple disks and you upload it into some other location, then definitely choose that. And then all other information should remain same because it's the Linux type and version kernel is fine. And then in the next tab, I normally leave everything default, but if something is differently selected on your side, just check it to I40FX and then C BIOS is fine. And then in the disk option, you can choose any from 20 gigs to 50 gigs or 100 gigs, whatever you think you're going to install on your OPNsense. So let's say you're looking for customized theme and many of the plugins, then make sure you assign more space. But honestly, I've been using 8 gigs on one of my firewall. It was just basic configuration, no extra plugins, and it was working fine. So for safe side, we will just keep it 20 gigs, which is minimum you should assign. For the CPU, I will select 2 sockets. So it's becoming 2 cores. Actually, it's using 2 different CPUs, like the actual CPUs. And then on the core side, I will choose 4. So it's going to use 8 cores, like 4 cores from CPU 1, 4 cores from CPU 2. And then in the next section, 2 gigs is the minimum requirement from OPNsense, but 4 gigs is recommended. But since I have good amount of RAM, I'm going to set 8 gigs. And then under network, we don't need to set anything right now. So I'm just going to click next, and then I will not start this machine after created. And I'll just simply click on finish. The reason I did not check start at after creating because I had to do some changes in the network side. So first thing, I'm going to go into my node in the network section, I'm going to go ahead and create a new bridge. So by default, you're going to see a VMBR0, which was already created while the installation of Proxmox. And I have 4 physical network ports on this server. So that's why it's showing 4. And if you see the active status, it's only showing on number 4 and number 1. So this one is connected to a LAN network from where I'm able to access this. If it's complicated, just ignore whatever I said. And just consider we have only one port connected from the ISP side. But again, you have to somehow able to access Proxmox. So there should be some kind of LAN configuration to access your Proxmox. And this one, ENO1 is actually connected to my ISP, and this one is active. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on create and then a Linux bridge. It's going to go with VMBR1 because VMBR0 is already available. And if I hover mouse here, you can choose any name from VMBR 100, whatever. And then you can set up the IP address here. But again, with that IP address, we will be able to access the Proxmox, not the OPNsense. So that's why we are not setting the IP address here. We will just define the bridge port and which is 1. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and click on create. And also I will mention some comments, let's say WAN. So you can consider this is directly connected to the WAN port of OPNsense. And I'm going to create another Linux bridge and I'm going to give it a name, LAN. And I will not select anything. I can select like open ports like ENO2 or ENO3, but I'm going to use this in the same virtual environment. All the virtual machines created in the Proxmox will be using this. So they're not going outside, not physically connected, so I don't need to mention any interface. But in case in future I have to attach something to the LAN of this machine, then I can add ENO2 or ENO3 to the LAN port and I will be able to access any of the internal device from the device which is connected physically. All right. After doing all that, we need to apply the changes, or maybe in the newer version, you don't need that. But in previous versions, you had to apply all the stuff when whatever you do. And it's already, I can see it's active and auto start. It's selected yes. So we should be good. Then go back again to the virtual machine and then under hardware section, we are going to add another network device. And then this time we will select VMBR2. And for the existing one, we will move it from VMBR0 to VMBR1. Now we know this one is going to be used for WAN and the MAC address is ending with 7640. That's all we need to remember. All right, so I'm gonna power on this machine now. So it's already detected the disk and it started booting everything on the RAM. All right, so OPNsense is booted. Now we are going to install it. For that, we need to type in the username installer and the password is OPNsense. If you log in with root, that way you can just test it out in the live mode, but nothing will be installed. To install it, you have to log in as the username installer and then hit enter on continue with the default key map. You can use any of the disk style you want, ZFS or UFS. For me, UFS works fine as well. ZFS is good too because we're not using multiple disks, so UFS should be fine too. If we have multiple disks and we want redundancy, then ZFS should be a good option to create RAID. And then we are going to select here DA0, which is actually the disk. So make sure you select the correct disk. And once it confirms last chance, do you want to destroy DA0, make sure it's the correct one and hit enter on yes. Then wait for it to install. All right, so the installation is completed. Now we can set the root password or just reboot and use the default password. So I'm going to go with the default and I'll set the password while setting up or configuring the firewall. I'm going to just simply click on confirm and exit and then reboot now. Since the installation is completed, now we can simply go ahead and select do not use any media on DVD drive. So OPNsense is booted again from the disk. Now we are going to use the username root instead of using installer again because now it's installed. So use root and the password is still same. All right. So what we're going to do here in the command line and what you need to do as a base learner or a basic user of OPNsense, you need to know some of these commands. First of all, you should be able to log in using the CLI username password. And the second thing is going to be setting up the interfaces and the IP addresses on the interface. So we will do that, and that's going to be the last step of configuration, and then we will test it out on the web configurator. And in the next video, we will discuss more about it. So let's just first configure and assign the interface. So for that, hit 1. And here you can see for the help of which one you're going to select. So we're going to assign the interfaces. So select 1 and it's going to ask you, do you want to configure LAGGS for now? Just select no. And then for VLAN, for now, definitely no, because we will configure VLAN in the web interface. And now it's asking for the WAN interface name or A for auto detect. Here you can see it's showing VTnet 0 and VTnet 1. And if you remember for WAN, the MAC address was ending with 7640. So VTnet 0 is our WAN. So I'm going to type VTnet 0 and hit enter. And then now it's asking for the LAN interface. VTnet 1 is the LAN. And then it's asking for any optional interfaces. For now, I don't have any, so I'm just going to hit enter because I don't have anything. And now it's confirming, do you want to proceed? Hit Y on that. And it's going to take a couple seconds to configure the LAN and the WAN interface. And it's binding the WAN name to the actual MAC address, what we actually want to use. You can manipulate that as well. Whatever I have set up name on Proxmox, I can use a different one here. But that way, it's going to create confusion. So just to avoid the confusion, we match the MAC addresses and the name. So now we know which one is WAN and which one is LAN, and I can set the IP address correctly. All right, so now you can see on LAN interface, it already have set up one IP address 192.168.1.1, which is by default set up on OPNsense LAN. And then on WAN, there is no IP address. So what you can do here, if you have static IP address, you can configure it here, or you can configure that on the web interface as well by accessing the IP with the LAN. For that, we need at least one machine in the LAN portion of the OPNsense firewall. So we would be able to access using the IP address 192.168.1.1. But in case if you want to set the WAN IP address here, it's super simple. You type 2 because number second is set interface IP address. You hit enter. Now it's going to confirm which one you want to use. So also you can see the information here. LAN is already set with the static IP address and WAN is set on DHCP. So if you have static IP address, you can choose the static IP address. If it's connected to the DHCP, then WAN should be good and it should get the IP address from DHCP. You don't need to do anything if it's connecting with the DHCP server. For me, it's static, so I will type the static IP address. And then after, so again, number 2 for setting up the IP address. And then I'm going to set up the IP address on WAN. So I'm just going to type 2 because that's the one interface I want to set IP address on. So it's confirming if you want to confirm IPv4 address WAN via DHCP. I'm going to say no because I have to set the static IP address. Now it's going to ask you what's the static IP address. I'm going to hide this IP address because of some security reasons, but make sure you type the correct IP address. And then for the subnet mask, make sure you just type the numbers. If it's /24, just type 24 instead of typing 255.255.255.0. So for me, it's a different subnet. And then it's going to ask you for the WAN gateway address. Make sure you type that correct as well. And then it's going to ask you if you want to use the gateway IPv4 as the name server? You can say yes if you want to, but for me, I'm gonna say no because I'll use another DNS server. All right, so now it's asking if you want to configure the IPv6 address. I'm gonna say no. And since we don't have the IPv6 address, I'm gonna just hit enter. And you want to change the web GUI protocol from HTTPS to HTTP? No, again, I want to leave it as it is. And we want to generate a self sign. Again, I'm going to say no. And restore from default to access default. Restore web GUI access defaults. I'm going to say no to that as well. So anytime you set up the IP address, it's going to ask you all same question again and again. But make sure you set no, and that's the default. So my IP address is set up now. I'm gonna go and check in the shell that if I'm able to ping my gateway and some other IP addresses. So for that, I'm gonna type the number 8. Here you can see it's showing shell number 8. And once you're in, you can type the command ping. I'm gonna go ahead and type the command ping with the IP address of my gateway, and I'm able to access my gateway. And then I'm going to type the command ping.app to check if the Google DNS is accessible. Perfect. So that means my WAN is connect fine. And for the LAN address, I will access using 192.168.1.1, and then later on I will change that. So let's do that. So meanwhile, this machine was installing, I created another machine with Linux, and I'm using Manjaro application on that, and it's running on live environment. So I just have to make sure the network adapter is connected to the LAN portion of the bridge. So you can see it's selected VMBR2, and I'm gonna go back to this one. And first, let's check if it's connected or not. If yes, it is, then we can check what detail it shows. If it's the IP address in series 192.168.1 dot something, that means we should be able to. Let's do that in the command, I guess. I'm more comfortable in command line than the graphical user. So you can see 192.168.1.149. So we should be able to access the OPNsense via 192.168.1.1. So just open the web browser, and I'm running this in live environment so I can access the firewall. And if I need to do any kind of configuration, I should be able to. When you see this warning message, that means your device is accessible. Since you're accessing it with the IP address, that's why it's showing the SSL warning, but don't worry about that. And then accept the risk and continue. All right, again, OPNsense, and then, oh, sorry, username is root and the password is OPNsense. All right, perfect. Now we are able to access our firewall, and we were able to install. So according to the video topic, we were able to download successfully, and we were able to install the OPNsense successfully. In the next video, I'll show you how we configure first time the firewall, and then a few more things I will add into that video. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you feel this video was helpful for you or can be helpful for any of your family and friend member, then make sure to share this video to them. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you again. Bye bye.